Hi guys, Jack here. Basically today I'm going to be giving you a quick overall guide for 5.2 and Mistweaver Monks. So I play Mistweaver Monk as my main, and I'm basically going to go through what talents and glyphs I think is the most viable to be using currently in 5.2 for both arena and rated battlegrounds, and how to change it for certain situations, for certain compositions you come against. Alright, I'm going to quickly go over the talents of what I would be using and why I would be using it. So I would always go for Tiger Lust, Chi Wave, Ascension. Depending on the comp we come against, in rated battlegrounds currently I'm running with Ring of Peace, but for arena I might switch to Leg Sweep. But for now I'm going to go for Ring of Peace. The same again with Dampen Harm and Diffuse Magic, depending on what composition we're against. In rated battlegrounds I would probably run with Diffuse Magic because I do not get targeted by the melee that much. And for the level 90 talent, I will always be going with Chi Torpedo for 3s, 5s, and rated battlegrounds. For 2s, I like to mix it up and go with Invoke Bazoon, and I'll explain in a second. Okay, I'll quickly go over the talents now. The level 15 talent, Tiger Lust. Tiger Lust is literally your hand of freedom. It increases your speed by 70% for 6 seconds, and it's just an ultimate getaway. Or, you can use it quite offensively, and it allows you to be able to stick to a target when they try to kite, or they blink away, they teleport away, get life gripped, etc. The other talents just do not compete with Tiger Lust. It's too good. We need it to be able to actually play the class properly, in my eyes. The level 30 talents, the only one I see viable right now is Chi Wave. This is literally a prayer of mending for monks. It bounces 7 times between offensive and our targets. So our teammates will get a bounce and it will heal them, and it will bounce to an enemy target and it'll do damage to them. And if it works out properly, it should bounce on you 4 times and 3 times on your opponent. And these ticks vary between 6 and about 15 to 20k, depending on how much intellect you're running. The level 45 talent, I personally go for Ascension. Ascension I think is really strong right now. It increases your maximum Chi by 1, and it increases your mana by 15%. This is 50k mana. No other class can have 50k extra free mana. So I see it as it allows you to be able to play more offensively and use your bigger costing healing spells like Surging Mist, rather than just relying on Enveloping Mist and Soothing Mist. Some monks are trying to argue that Chi Brew's worth playing in rated battlegrounds. Why would you want all your Chi restored on a 1.5 minute cooldown if you can have 50k extra mana? Really? All your Chi or extra mana? I don't see it. With 50k mana you could build 4 Chi. You could build more than 4 Chi. This is the stupid thing. Look, okay, I'm going to give you an example. Here's my Soothing Mist. That's 1 Chi, 2 Chi, 3 Chi, 4 Chi. I've used 20k mana. There you go. 30k mana it cost me to build 5 Chi. I don't know why people were suggesting Chi Brew. They're just, no. It's not right at all. Ascension is too strong. For level 60 talent, okay, I'm going to go over a situational. Ring of Peace. Ring of Peace is OP. Everyone knows that. Everyone can play QQQ. Yep, okay. So Ring of Peace is awesome against any melee comp you play against. It's awesome in rated battlegrounds. I will be releasing a little video on how to use Ring of Peace and Leg Sweep efficiently in arena. I'm rated battlegrounds with some footage of some high-end rated battlegrounds later on. But Ring of Peace, I would suggest using in rated battlegrounds and using it on your DK when he does a mass grip into a solar beam or a ring, just purely to disarm any DKs, any warriors, rogues, anything like that. In arena, I would suggest using it against melee comps, or if you're struggling against rogues, use it against rogues because it will be off cooldown every time they've got dance off cooldown. Leg Sweep, for arena, this is the spell you want to be going for against spell cleaves. For example, if you come against God comp, Leg Sweep's going to be a lot more useful for you rather than Ring of Peace, because Ring of Peace disarming them won't do a lot. But Leg Sweep will give them that nice AoE 5-second stun, and you can start setting up CC chains with it. My level 75 talent, Healing Elixir is useless in my eyes. Dampen Harm is if you come against melee comps or you struggle against rogues too much. Diffuse Magic is what you want to be running with in RPGs because it's mainly going to be spell cleaves. It's literally a godlike AMS. It's on a 1.5 minute cooldown, but it reduces all spell damage taken by 90%. It clears all magical effects on you and reverses them back to original caster if they're within 40 yards, and it lasts for 6 seconds. This is the AMS for us, basically. So I run with diffuse magic more than I do with dampen harm for RPGs anyway. Unless they're running melee comp, but they never really run melee comps anymore. And the level 90 talent, Chi Torpedo. Chi Torpedo replaces your roll, and basically this is so good because you can use it in solo beam in my eyes. It's, if you get silence, you can use Chi Torpedo and still be able to heal, as well as keeping your hots up and whatever else if they're still up. But Chi Torpedo is like a saviour in my eyes. So I like to run with Chi Torpedo. In twos I run with Invoke, purely because I like to go for damage in twos. I like to try and play as kind of like a Shockadin from Wrath of Lich King. I like to sit there and spam Chain Lightning and put Invoke on things, and I get nice 20k ticks on my Sparkling Lightning, and my pet does loads of damage, and we can land kills quicker and makes the game shorter. And that's the main reason I play with Invoke. It can help if you're either trying to carry a friend that's playing a DPS, or in twos, because you've got roll anyway. The extra damage can be very helpful when you come against a comp like Shadow Priest, Resto Shaman that's just aids to play against. So that's the talents basically. This is the talent setup I would be running with most of the time. You got your Chi Torpedo, which just torpedoes you across and heals for 40k there. Okay, I'm going to have a quick look at the glyphs for you and explain which glyphs I would suggest using. Okay, let's scroll down. The first glyph I would always suggest using is Glyph of Life Cocoon. This allows you to put your live cocoon that is literally a 340k-ish shield that lasts for 12 seconds and increases all periodic healing on the target for 50% while you're stunned. For example, if a mage, you're playing against a god comp and you're playing, I don't know, Monk, Thug Cleave. I know, it doesn't sound very viable, because it isn't. But anyway, they switch onto your rogue and they put a deep on you. Your rogue is now on 10%, he has nothing to get away, he is going to die. Because you're still in that deep, you can put your live cocoon on him and literally save him from death. And that's why I think that's really helpful. Also in rated battlegrounds, if you've got a rogue sitting on you, or more DK tries to stun you, or warlock passive stuns, it can just be very helpful. The next talent, or next glyph I'm going to go over, I think is essential, is Manatee. This allows you not to have to cast Manatee anymore. For example, I'll build some stacks of Manatee now quickly. I'll just build these stacks. Okay, so with this, it allows you to just drink it. You just drink your Manatee without having to cast it and get your mana back instantly. This is very helpful. You do not really have time to sit and get cast Manatee when you can get interrupted. So I find these two very essential glyphs. The next ones, there's two final choices in my eyes for the next one. In raided battlegrounds, you want to be running with Glyph of Renewing Mist. Glyph of Renewing Mist basically allows it to travel further to injured targets within 40 yards rather than just the closest injured target within 20 yards. So it basically gives you a larger range for your healing. And one I would suggest using in Arena is Glyph of Paralyze, and basically you would switch these around. You wouldn't use Renewing Mist and you would use Paralyze. Your Paralyze ability removes all damage over time effects from the target. This basically is like Glyph of Poly, etc. It just removes all dots, so your Paralyze does actually land and doesn't just break from either your team's dots or whatever. They're the glyphs I would suggest using, and they're the talents I would suggest using. If you've got any questions about which talents and glyphs to be using, or any arguments you want to argue with me, just post a comment down below, and I hope to see you soon.